Lila here, and today I wanted to do a special Valentine's Day recording talking about the heart. Our heart is such an important organ, and for so many more reasons than we know about in the Western medical model and lens. So today we're going to talk about the heart from a more Eastern perspective, and we're going to tie it back into modern physiology. So we know that heart disease is one of the leading causes of death in America. I will caveat that with leading preventable deaths as well. I think a lot of heart disease that we're experiencing does not need to be there. We deal with high cholesterol, we deal with blood pressure issues, we deal with arterial plaque and varicose veins and heart attacks and arrhythmias and all kinds of heart issues and heart disease in this country. But the heart is so much more than a muscle that pumps blood to the rest of our body. If we take a look at the heart from another lens, this traditional Chinese medicine and Ayurvedic lens, because they're both saying the same thing with different words, we know that the heart is our seat of consciousness. It houses our spirit, it houses our Shen, it houses our soul and our Atma. Our heart should govern. It should be in charge of our existence. We should be leading with the heart and letting the heart make decisions. The heart is what should be in control. When we lead with the mind instead of the heart, you can see it on people. If somebody is heart-led, they literally lead with their heart. And you can see that in the way that they walk and they move and they're interacting with the world. They're a little bit more open. Their shoulders are less guarded. And they are leading, again, head farther back with the heart. Somebody who's leading with the mind, that's the intellect, you will see them with their head forward. They're leading literally, and you can see it in the way they walk and interact with their mind. And the problem with leading with the mind is the mind's job is to keep us safe. The mind wants to keep us alive. It's an absolutely great tool. It helps us perceive, it helps us process. We need it. It is so helpful. But if we let it get out of control, if we let it run the show, then we are stuck in our heads and we're not listening to our hearts. And what does getting stuck in the head look like? That's depression, that's anxiety, that's fear, that's being stuck in the what ifs and the worst possible outcomes and the scarcity and protect myself. Or we're getting stuck looking at the past and what could we have done better, and we're listening to these critical voices. Or we're stuck in the intellect, being productive, trying to earn our worth. We're focusing on the wrong things. If we're led by the heart, we are listening to what we truly want on a deep, deep, deep level. So the heart is really cool because you can see how healthy or vibrant somebody's heart is through their face. It shows in the complexion. So if somebody is bright and cheery and has a lot of just that spark in their face, they are most likely dealing with a balanced heart. If their complexion is dull, if they're not vibrant, if they don't have that shine in their eyes, then they're most likely dealing with some heart deficiencies. So the heart, which houses the Shen according to Chinese medicine, can be in balance in a lot of different ways. We can have heart deficiencies, we can have heart excess, we can have disturbances of the heart, and any of these issues are going to throw us out of balance and affect our physical and mental health, because again, it is all so beautifully interconnected. So I want to tell you a little bit about what a balanced heart looks like in your day-to-day world. When your heart is imbalanced, you have a calm presence, you have clear speech, you're getting restful sleep, you have this emotional resilience and the radiant complexion that I mentioned. But when your heart is deficient, that's when we have things like palpitations, anxiety, insomnia, forgetfulness, or the dull complexion. If our heart is in excess, so the heart is the seat of joy. And if we're feeling excess joy, we also have a problem. Too much of anything is a problem, even a beautiful emotion like joy. There's some herbalists that I highly respect that talk about ADHD being a matter of excessive amounts of joy and something you can balance by bringing in herbs to support the cardiovascular system and the heart. So that excess joy, that looks like agitation and mania, excessive laughter, restlessness, and tongue ulcers. So the heart is manifested through the voice and the tongue, which is really interesting. And then when we have heart disturbances, that is when we feel emotional instability, we feel fear, we feel disconnected, our sleep is most likely poor. And any of these symptoms that I mentioned can also show up in heart disease. So something like fear might be a heavy heart. Maybe we're experiencing something like arterial plaque buildup, something literally weighing down our system. Or if we're experiencing something like emotional instability, that might be shown as palpitations, something that is unstable. We're not having the constant stable pattern of the normal heartbeat. So traditional Chinese medicine has its view on the heart, and Ayurveda has a very similar view of the heart. It, again, houses our consciousness, our soul. It's the place where this superior form of ojas is stored, and ojas is our life force. Once we run out of ojas, we are done on this planet, and there's certain things that we can't replenish, so we need to be really careful to protect that part of us. So this heart is both a really spiritual piece of us and it's physiological, right? It is how we stay alive, and that's all very interconnected. So these are, again, things that are going to govern our emotional stability and our resilience and our vitality. It's going to govern our fear and how depleted we feel or how fulfilled we feel, how safe and nourished and connected we feel. The heart is absolutely so much more than just a physical organ, and we have to honor that if we want to feel our health and happiness in this world. So I see this a lot in clinical practice. People are torn between the heart and the head. And that internal confliction is what leads to states of disease, states of imbalance, states of unrest and instability. Our heart wants one thing, but our mind talks us out of it. And maybe that looks like we're in a relationship that isn't fulfilling us, but it's financially secure. And our mind says, you can't leave this relationship. It's financially supporting you. But our heart says, I don't want to be here. This isn't for me. And so we sit there torn between the two worlds. Because the thing about having an open heart and listening to your heart and following your path and being in alignment and listening again to just that inner wisdom and that deep inner knowing is it's not always the most comfortable or easy path. When we have our heart open, we get to experience all the love and joy that comes with it, but we also experience all the pain and sorrow that comes with it. And when we choose to stop listening to our mind and to start listening to our heart, that path still might be really full of challenges, and our mind's going to sit there and say, see, I told you so. I'll give you a prime example. About 4 years ago, I left my job. My job paid me a lot of money and it gave me a lot of security and it made me important and relevant. And a lot of people were really relying on me. And when I left my job, my parents, my family, everybody looking in thought I was crazy. But my heart was so far from in it. It was taking from me. I was giving this job something I didn't have to give it, and it was making me miserable, even though I had money, even though I had quote unquote security. The job itself was out of alignment for me. And I left the job, and it was hard and it was scary, but like something in me just could not go on. And if I weren't able to leave that job, I would not have gone on the journey that I have gone on to be where I'm at today. I have my own clinical practice. I just opened an office. I get to help people do things like get in touch with their heart and find their life's purpose and overcome these chronic health issues that are keeping them from finding their health and happiness. But I really had to trust, surrender, remain open, and buffer against the mind's what if we run out of money? What if we end up homeless? What if? Because the mind wanted to keep me safe and stuck, but the heart will show me where I need to go. A great representation of this is the book The Alchemist. I think that is such a great book to listen to or read or just experience if you're trying to get more in touch with being heart-led and to follow your calling, your dharma, your life's purpose. Because if you do not follow your life's purpose, you will never find your happiness or your peace or your joy in this lifetime. Maybe you'll be okay, but you will not be fulfilled on such a level that I think many of us crave to be fulfilled on. So sometimes it involves doing something scary and unknown and knowing that you're going to face obstacles and knowing that it's not going to be easy. But if you keep trusting and listening, I don't think your heart will ever lead you astray. Your heart knows sometimes even before your consciousness knows. So if you are somebody who's experiencing cardiovascular issues, it might be worth looking into your life and seeing what areas you're out of alignment in and working towards getting into alignment in those areas, while of course supporting the actual very real, very serious physiological things that are going on in the heart, right? We still need to take our medication. We still need to take our herbs. When I work with people with cardiovascular conditions, we do a lot of work. And it's everything from supporting the physiology to supporting the person on an energetic and spiritual level to make sure that they can and have the resources to go do what they need to do to get on the path that their heart is going to be satisfied with, because that is the key. The heart is so much more than a physical organ that pumps blood. It should be governing our lives. That's how we find beautiful spiritual brilliance, and that's how we come into our own and we get to radiate that light and really just shine bright in this world. And I'm a very firm believer that the best way to help the world is to help ourselves. And if each one of us can be a source of light and expansion and a breath of fresh air for those around us, then the world will be a better place, because that's what we're putting out and that's what's going to be resonating around. So one more thing I'll say about keeping your heart open is it hurts and it's not always easy. And so many of us have been taught to turn off our emotions, to be less than we are, to take up less space, to not be so rowdy or not be so whatever. I'm thinking right now of kids that do have ADHD and get put on things like Ritalin and are kind of forced to shut off parts of themselves, and they get to the point where they put up a wall. If you've seen Pink Floyd's The Wall, that's another great representation of what we do. We put up this wall around us, and we do it to protect ourselves and to survive. But when we are living in that space, it is less than fulfilling, and we will not find peace or joy or contentment or happiness if we continue our life with a wall behind us or around us. So as you're going out on Valentine's Day, and I know this is a bit of a Hallmark holiday that's, a bit consumeristic, but we can take this reminder of this heart day and use it to practice feeling open and expansive and finding the place where we are sitting in the seat of love, when we are being led and governed by the heart. And the best way to do that is just start tuning in and listening and figuring out what moments you feel open and bright and expansive in, and what moments you feel constricted and closed off and shut down in. And start listening to your body language and to your emotions and how you're feeling and what makes you feel what way. And that can be your new guide, sitting in the seat of loving awareness. I think it's just going to give you a lot of good answers, and it's something to keep coming back and tuning into. I know for me, I didn't feel what I felt was love until pretty late in life. My dog Dia came in my life, and that was the first time my heart opened. It was pretty closed off. I was pretty cynical, pretty depressed, pretty miserable. But when you feel what it feels like to be open, to be generous, to not worry about these things of, self-protection because you know that there's a grander plan that's beyond you, it feels so good. And we all deserve to get to feel that way, even if we just get glimpses of it. So as you're going out on Heart Day, skip the chocolate, skip the teddy bears, skip all of that, and just be present. Be present with your partner, be present with your children, be present with the people that you love, and see if you can practice sitting in that seat of heart openness. And maybe if you're having trouble, hug them, touch them, feel them, just hold people tight and just sit there until your body can let down its guard and its walls and just be present. Because when we are present, when I am present and you are present, and we cut through the noise and the bullshit, like we are somewhere else, and it's beautiful. So, one, if you're having any cardiovascular issues, feel free to reach out to the clinic. That's something that we can help and support. I think herbal medicine, nutrition, lifestyle, all of the pieces and things that we bring in are key on any healing journey and can beautifully support a holistic path to health and happiness. And I hope that you use this day to tune in and practice opening your heart, because you deserve it, and you deserve every bit of health and happiness that is available to you in this world. I'm Lila. This was brought to you by the Virtual Natural Healing Clinic, and I hope you enjoy your day.